All right, guys, I'm about to film and take you through one of the most important videos that we've probably done at the Bush Company. And this is an assembly video regarding your new tent, whether it be the AX27, the DX27, the Black Max, the Black Series, or the old Alpha tent. Doesn't make a difference, the principles are the same. What you're going to need for the assembly of your tent is a 14mm spanner, flat spanner preferably, a 5mm Allen key, or if you have a 5mm Allen key bit on a rattle gun, you can use that, a knife, and a really handy tip and trick is to have a ratchet strap close at hand to compress the struts. Let's get cracking on this. So first steps, open up your tent box. So we're going to take out a knife. Now, when we freight these tents, we freight them without the struts attached. So really, there's two parts to the assembly process. One is fitting on the struts themselves, the assisting mechanical struts or gas struts if you want to call them. The second one is choosing where your second ladder mount will attach to, whether you overseas, maybe in Europe, and you have a left-hand drive vehicle, you might want to attach your ladder mount onto the left-hand side, or vice versa, like down here in Australia or South Africa, we tend to fit our ladder mounts on the driver's side, which is the right-hand side, as our awnings generally run on the passenger side. But let's have a look into this. So, cut your box open. And there we go. And the first thing you'll notice up when you get the box open is this piece of paper. This is our inspection sheet. Basically, when packing the tent, the guys at the factory in quality control have a list and they tick and sign off with a date exactly what is on the tent or in the tent. Also on the sheet is your serial number of the tent. So that's that. Basically throw that away. It's just our checklist really. All right, opening up the sides. Now when you're cutting, you don't want to cut too deep. You want to cut in the corners and on the top edge. What you'll basically see is the box is a decent 20mm thick, almost an inch. So when you're basically getting the knife in, just bear in mind that you want to be cutting about halfway through that box, basically just to cut the tape off. So you can go through, cut all four sides open, give them a good knockdown like that. And the last one, that's it. That's just an elastic tag on there as well for when we're in the factory, showing you the same serial number on the tents so that we know exactly which frame was made on which date and all the packing processes thereof and manufacturing processes thereof. All right, next step. All of your contents is inside the tent. Your ladder, your extra ladder mount, your spring rods, your extension pole, which I'll show you shortly, as well as your struts. So the goal is to open this up. You might need a hand of this, so get someone to come give you a hand. Or if you are alone, you can always take your ratchet strap around the handle to a beam in your house, for example, in your garage or shed outside, and pull it up so that the lid opens up. So right now, this is pretty heavy to lift up, being that it's just the top shell, which is unaided. So what I do is I generally go in like that and climb inside. And that's it. So pole comes out, the struts come out, and the ladder. And as I say, much easier to get someone to give you a hand when doing this. There we go. Closing that up, you can see there's no canvas pinched in the way. So I'm checking that on both sides, no canvas, it's all tucked away and clear. Now, what you'll notice is your gas struts are wrapped up with a bit of plastic tape like this, and they're labeled RH and LH, in other words, right-hand side and left-hand side. When we're discussing sides of the tent or sides of your vehicle, imagine you're sitting in your vehicle, the left-hand side of your vehicle, no matter where you are in the world, is obviously on your left-hand side, facing forward, and the right-hand side being on the right. On the tents, the hinges, as most of the time is mounted on the vehicles, the hinge is the front of the tent. The rear end is the opening end. So right-hand side is going to be on this side and the left-hand side on that. So simply open it up without cutting the actual strut itself. There we go. Now, your side plates, it's the left hand, so we'll start on the right. All right. Now, step one is going to be to start with the top frame first. In a closed position, you want to start with the top frame. Now, let me explain to you how these brackets work, and it's probably better if you come and zoom in on this one. You've got 3 fastening bolts, including 1 open hole. Now, the open hole is purely a sight hole or a hole in which you can get a sharp object in there if you wanted to move the nut around. These brackets are preset in the correct positions, but we will always double check that at the end of the assembly process as well. Now, what's important is the stainless steel front and the stainless steel rear bolt stay in place. You do not remove this bracket at all. The black one in the middle is your throwaway bolt, or the sacrificial bolt, in other words. You're going to remove that, throw it in the bin, and you're going to attach your strut to where this bolt is. The reason why we have the bolt there is because we need the nut that's on the back of the bracket to hold the struts into position. So, grabbing my tools, very simply, you'll undo the bolt in a anti-clockwise position. So for those who know left is loosey, right is tighty, same thing, left is loosey, anti-clock. Then you take your stainless steel washer that came with your bolt and you put it on the end of your gas strut. Simply attach that, just finger tight for now, all the way in as far as you can get it. Now, these are nylock nuts on the back end, so they are a locking format of nut. Next, take your 14mm spanner and tighten off completely. Notice a very important part. The thick part of the strut, fits to the top frame always. The thin part of the strut, or where the shaft is, in other words, fits to your bottom frame. Now, I do both of my top struts first. The reason being is, when this tent is in an open position, the nut will have a tendency to slide down the channel. I don't want it to slide down the channel, so much easier fitting it flat or in a horizontal position like that. So I'll just go across the other side, grab my left-hand strut, and do the exact same procedure. So simply undo it on this side as well. Take the exact same washer there, attach it to the thick side of your strut, bolt like such, and screw it in the same hole, catching that nut on the inside. Once it's finger tight, you take your 14mm spanner and do it up like this, with the nuts locked off and ready to go. Now I'm going to come to the front of the tent, well, the rear of the tent, and we're going to open up the back end. So what you're going to need for this, and what's easier, is one of these poles. Now, certain models of our tents do not come with these, in which case you can take a broomstick if you wish, or you can just get your friend or partner to help you hold it open. So, seeing that I'm alone, I'm going to open this up like that and push the mechanical pole against the roof and against the floor of the tent. Extend it up and lock it off. In that position there, it's easier to take your bungee cord all the way down so you can actually gain access to this. Now, what I like doing in this case is try and open it as wide as you possibly can. It makes it a lot easier to actually fit the strut as well. So I'm going to climb inside, put my back up against the roof of the tent, like such, and open it up as wide as I possibly can and lock off the pole. Now, the poles lock off in a twist format, so untwist it to unscrew it and twist it closed again to lock it off. Now that that's up in the air there, you will notice we need the spanners and the same Allen key bit again. Now, please bear in mind, when I am using a torque wrench of any kind, I've actually got this set down to its lowest setting. So it's mainly you know, it's tight. It's not over tightening it. You really don't need to over tighten these, being that the strut itself is providing pressure as well on it. It's just spanner tight. So undo that. There we go. Now what you'll notice is that when this goes across there, this one is almost in line with the hole. We might be able to lift it up. No, it's too tight. So this is where the trick comes in. The ratchet strap trick. Basically, each one of these struts are pushing, depending on the tent, anywhere between 55 kilograms of force to 650 to 65 kilograms of force, which is basically 650 newtons roughly. So what we do with this is we're taking this strap and we are going to hook it around. Grab it this way. Take the strap, hook it around the top ball, hook it around the bottom ball, like such. There we go. Now, if you have a strap which has got the hooks, you simply wind it around, hook the two hook ends together. Now, what we want to do with this is make sure that the bolt at the back can still spin freely. So literally be able to spin. You don't want to have to put tension on this and it locks up that bolt. From there, we're going to do it up. Now, I'm pushing my hand on the strap to keep the ratchet away from the shaft. We do not want to scratch this shaft. So simply do that up until it lines up with that hole. Take the same washer again, which there it is. Place the bolt in the hole of the tent again and do it up. Finger tight. Then grab your 14mm spanner and do the same on, tighten that up all the way. Nice and easy. Now simply release your ratchet strap. There we go. You see that it kicked out into place and actually expanded and pushed that straight. This side is now technically ready to go, and all I like doing is removing the sticker which marked it off as the right hand. So removing the tape on that side over there. So this is all done. As you can see, we've got the stainless steel bolt in there, in that place, the strut in where the black bolt was. You've still got the opening or the sight hole, and then the front stainless steel bolt. I'm going to go across to the other side and repeat the same process on the other side. Alrighty. Well, I've done both two struts and the tent is officially self-supporting itself up there with the struts. So now we can simply remove the pole, which is there. Now, the reason why we supply these poles is super handy if you're in a cold country where there's snow, for example, very cold place. Maybe you're in an area where there is snow on the roof, or by some random chance you decide to drive into a tree or something and break the strut, which I must say we've replaced 2 struts in all the years we've ever done that for that situation. So more likely for snow. Simply use this as a mechanical pole to keep the lid open so the snow that's gathering doesn't collapse the tent slowly over time. Now I just generally tuck these in the head and behind the mattress. Underneath your mattress is where we usually find the spring rods. So lifting up the mattress, underneath the mattress are your 2 spring steel poles. Now these are the ones which we simply use for the rain fly. Goes into there and opens up into that. That's all preset and ready for use as it is over there. Now, just to show you that this tent is all complete, on closing, pretty simply, take your 2 ends on all your tents, fold them up in a crisscross format, bring up your bungee from the bottom over the canvas itself, and that's going to assist you to close it. Being that this tent will be mounted up high, we've added in these pull down straps so that you can actually pull the tent down from a lower position. But in this demonstration, I'm purely going to grab the handle and pull it down. So that comes down into place. Now, what I like doing with this is giving it a big tuck on either side. Like that, and that just gets it closed. There we go. Close it off into place and latch it off. It's that simple. Now for the next part, in the AX27 and DX27 tents, the tents do come with mounting brackets. If you're unsure whether the tent that you're purchasing does or does not come with mounting brackets, please refer to our website at thebushcompany.com or your local website in whichever country you might be in. That'll give you a fair example. For example, the Black Series or Black Max do not come with mounting brackets, and you can choose a variety of options. Now look inside your ladder. So inside the ladder itself, open that up, and in this situation, this is a DX27 tent. So this does come with brackets. It's the full kit, including for the under rail. Now this will service 95% of the installs out there. However, it's not going to fit every single install, so there might be a case where one of the other brackets available will be better suited, and in some situations you even have to custom make mounting brackets to suit your roof racks, canopies, or trailers, or whatever you might be mounting it to. Also inside this, and what I want to show you, which is important, open that up, is your second ladder mount. So your ladder mount, grab my knife again, open this up. There we go. All right, your set of ladder mount and your mounting bolts. So this you can attach anywhere on the bottom frame, which is best suited for you. For these guys, I'll just undo this quickly. There we go. So very, very quick example of how this goes together. Right. You add your washer onto the panhead bolt itself, or Allen-Cap bolt. Insert that into the hole in the bracket and add on your nylock nut on there. Now you'll do that on all 4 positions. Simply, in this case, slide it in your bottom frame to suit where your door opening, or what is the easiest entrance, is for you. So this can be mounted on the side or on the opposite side, and some guys even mount these on the sides of their canopies or roof racks if they wanted to use a roof rack entry point, or what we call like a patio or platform entry point into your tent. So very handy for that. Now close all this up. So it's that simple regarding the assembly process, and if it's your first time, it'll probably take you about maximum 15 minutes. If you've done it a few times like I've, we can pretty much knock this out in about 5. It's just the 2 gas struts. So moving that out the way, that is pretty much every single thing as far as the assembly goes of your tent. Well, that's us done on the pre-install video, and thanks for watching through everything for all you do-it-yourselfers out there. Don't forget, guys, your dealers and your stockists out there that do this for a living and do a lot of installs are great and super handy and will help you. So just contact them if you have any other questions regarding your installs and your pre-fitment before the install. Now, on our tents, doesn't matter if you have the AX, the DX, or the Alpha or Delta frames on your tents, we've got an array of accessory brackets. So whether it's the solar panel brackets, shovel brackets like on the one behind me here, or even the Maxtrax brackets, fan brackets, awning brackets, you name it, a whole bunch of accessories. These tents were designed to take weight and take the accessories. So jump onto our website at thebushcompany.com. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to go bush. Catch you later.